Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chesterton's Jest, where we shine an unflinching light on the joys, contradictions, and crises within today's Catholic Church and culture. If you're here for faith, wit, and a little righteous fire, you're in the right place. Smash that like button, share this video with your fellow troublemakers, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now then, shall we begin? Our topic, up for discussion today: authority without fathers. Why every institution is collapsing at once. Chapter 1. The coincidence no one names. It is an odd thing that so many institutions should fail at the same time, yet we are told it is all coincidence. The church is confused, governments are distrusted, universities indoctrinate rather than educate. Media demands belief without credibility. Families fracture, men withdraw. Women exhaust themselves, trying to rule systems never designed to be ruled alone. Authority exists everywhere. Legitimacy exists almost nowhere. This is not primarily political. It is not generational. It is paternal. Modern society is ruled by authority without fathers, by power that commands but does not generate life, by institutions that regulate behavior but cannot form souls. We live under managers, caretakers, experts, and administrators, but no longer under fathers. A father does not merely enforce rules. He gives identity. He teaches not only what is forbidden, but why obedience is good. Authority without fatherhood becomes brittle, suspicious, and eventually tyrannical, not because it is too strong, but because it is too hollow. Chapter 2. Power that cannot justify itself. The modern world is filled with authority that cannot explain why it has authority. We are told to trust institutions that no longer trust themselves. Laws are enforced by people who insist morality is subjective. Moral commands are issued by systems that deny moral truth. Citizens are ordered to obey while being told that obedience itself is oppressive. This is why modern authority speaks endlessly, but teaches almost nothing. It manages outcomes instead of forming consciences. It cannot say, "This is good," without apology, footnotes, or committees. A father does not need to justify his authority every 5 minutes. His authority is embodied. It is proven over time through sacrifice. Authority without fathers must constantly explain itself, and because it cannot, it resorts to enforcement. Chapter 3. The Church without paternity. Nowhere is this crisis more visible than in the Church. The Church was never meant to be a service provider or a spiritual consultant. She was meant to teach with confidence, not arrogance, but certainty rooted in Christ. Today, she often governs like an anxious caretaker rather than a confident father. She accompanies endlessly but teaches cautiously. She listens perpetually but hesitates to conclude. She fears judgment, forgetting that a father judges precisely because he loves. The result is not mercy, but confusion. Sheep do not flourish when shepherds refuse to lead. Souls do not mature when no one dares to say, "This way leads to life, and that way does not." Chapter 4. The maternal state and the managed adult. When fathers retreat, something always replaces them. It is never freedom, it is management. The modern state increasingly behaves like an overprotective parent, regulating speech, sanitizing risk, medicating discomfort, shielding adults from consequences they once handled themselves. Citizens are treated as permanent adolescents, supervised, corrected, but never trusted. This is why modern power feels both smothering and empty at the same time. It cares deeply about safety, but little about virtue. It promises protection, but cannot offer meaning. Soft in language, merciless in outcome. Chapter 5. Men without permission. The absence of fathers produces men who no longer know when they are allowed to act. Modern men are told leadership is toxic and then blamed for its absence. They are expected to protect without being permitted to rule, to sacrifice without being honored, to serve systems that publicly despise the traits that make service possible. A society uncomfortable with fatherhood cannot tolerate confident masculinity. When men withdraw, institutions grow more bureaucratic, more legalistic, and more suspicious, because systems without fathers must rely on rules instead of relationships. Chapter 6. Women carrying too much. In the absence of fathers, women are asked to carry authority that was never meant to be borne alone. They are told this is empowerment. In truth, it is exhaustion. Women are placed in roles demanding judgment without protection and authority without backing. This is not a criticism of women, but of a system that refuses to honor difference and then wonders why nothing works. Chapter 7. Why nothing feels legitimate. The deepest symptom of authority without fathers is the sense that nothing feels legitimate anymore. Elections are doubted, courts distrusted, media assumed to lie, churches questioned, experts mocked. No one believes because no one feels formed. Legitimacy is not produced by procedure alone. It is produced by paternal authority that teaches before it commands, sacrifices before it rules, and embodies the good it demands. Anonymous power is always feared. Chapter 8. The Return of the Father. The solution is not stronger institutions. It is restored fatherhood, not authoritarianism, but authority willing to be personal again, authority that teaches clearly, disciplines fairly, and loves visibly. The Church must remember she speaks not as a consultant, but as a mother who knows the Father. Men must be allowed to lead without apology. Women must be freed from carrying what was never meant to rest on their shoulders alone. Families must be rebuilt as schools of authority rooted in love. Because a world without fathers does not become equal. It becomes orphaned, and orphans do not need more managers. They need a father who is not afraid to be known. That is the scandal of authority, and it is the only thing that can save us. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video and share our passion for defending the true faith with a touch of humor, smash that like button. Share this video with your fellow troublemakers and subscribe so you never miss an episode. As Chesterton once said, a madman is not someone who has lost his reason. A madman is someone who has lost everything except his reason. So, let's keep our reason and our faith intact together. Thanks for listening. God bless you, and may the good Lord be praised.